Hello, my name is Dan McCarthy. I'm an assistant professor of marketing at Emory University's Goizueta School of Business, and I'm very excited to share with you today just some thoughts about how you should be calculating retention rates and what you should make sure to watch out for when you're going about modeling retention at subscription-based firms. Obviously, retention is extremely important to the health of a firm. Companies that have very high retention maintain their relationships with their subscribers for longer periods of time and thus have more fruitful and higher valuation customers as a result, which can only be good for the firm. And one of the big things that can be very helpful to do then over time is to make sure that you're tracking the retention of your subscribers and how that's been evolving across different acquisition cohorts. So how should we calculate retention? Well, the standard way is to basically assume that every period there's some sort of a retention rate. So I'm in month 0, I've just been acquired, I move to month 1, there's going to be some probability I'm going to end my relationship with the firm. The probability that I stay is the retention rate. And so every single month there's going to be a different retention rate. And the standard assumption that is made typically is that every single month that retention rate is exactly the same as previous months. And when we think about how that translates into the probability that customers are alive, we take that kind of standard constant rate, R, and just raise it to the power of the number of months out that we're looking. So the probability that I'm alive 1 month after being acquired would be R, 5 months after I've been acquired would be R to the 5th. So just as a very simple example, if we were to think about a particular customer, if R was truly 90%, then 4 months out, this would suggest that the probability the customer is alive is about 2/3, about 66%. So imagine we were to think about retention rates in the context of Blue Apron. This is a meal kit delivery business that I've spent a good amount of time thinking about. I've written a case study that's available through Harvard Business Publishing that I highly recommend with University of Michigan professor Eric Schwartz called Blue Apron, Turning Around the Struggling Meal Kit Market Leader. And one of the big things that we focus on in this case is exactly retention. And so one of the key charts that we show at the beginning of the case is the following retention curve. This is basically taking data from Second Measure, which has a very large credit card panel, and so they're able to directly observe the retention of subscribers at this firm. And so the big question is, what would be the kind of best fitting value for R to this curve? And that's kind of the exercise that we wanted to play out. And once we've got an estimate for that, we can use that to forecast into the future kind of how many customers are still going to be with this firm. So again, this is a retention curve. The idea here is look out X number of months. What proportion of acquired customers are still with the firm in those months? So the further out we go, the more likely it is that people will defect, and that's why this is a downward sloping curve.